Lauren Feldman, 1938 Media. I'm here at South by Southwest with Chris Pearson. Now, you don't know the name maybe, but boy, do you know his work. This guy is the force behind Thesis, probably the top-selling WordPress theme of the moment. I know Chris through the interwebs for a long time. First time we're finally sitting down. I'm very excited about it. Welcome to the show, Mr. Pearson.
What's up? Good to be here.
How long have you been designing websites?
Too long, since about late 2005.
And you hooked up with Brian Clark of Copyblogger, and you redesigned his site, and that got a lot of traction, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I hooked up with him in February of 2006 to do his site. He was very skeptical at the time, and he didn't want to pay a lot, and I guess he just wasn't sure. He'd already had one experience with a designer, and he was thinking that everybody was kind of just hacking stuff together, cobbling bits and pieces, different things together to make a website. And it was kind of like that. We used to joke that his site was made of, or held together by rusty nails and duct tape. And that's not too far from the truth. We're using a, WordPress 1.5, and I had limited knowledge and skill at the time, so it was really, really a mess. But we got it done, got a lot of attention, and that kind of kickstarted things for me, at least.
Right.
And I think it kind of started, that little design and everything kind of started things for him also. Kind of got his momentum going. We all know where he's gone with that.
Right.
So.
Well,
awesome.
You cannot go anywhere on the interwebs without seeing a Thesis banner somewhere.
Yeah, so clearly there's some order in the universe.
Right.
It's clearly.
Without getting too technical, because my audience are essentially morons, what is the thing about Thesis that's so unique?
What I think is unique about it, that separates it from other themes, is simply that the approach of the whole thing. WordPress themes are typically treated like designs. Like, you think of theme, you think, I'm going to change my theme, I'm basically going to change my design. And I think fundamentally, the state of the WordPress theming system, that is wrong. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you change your themes, historically, you change your theme, and you end up with a completely new code base running your site. It's not like the thing's going to be coded. Some guy in China did this theme, some guy in the Philippines did this one, some guy in America did this one, and all these people are qualified differently. They may not be qualified to write code. They really maybe want to be designers and just are like expressing themselves through a WordPress theme. That's really not legitimate for you, because the code behind your site is really all that matters.
Right. The
code plus your content. I mean, that all this stuff that people want, like visually, really is not a separator at all. I mean, it can be some kind of can help your brand maybe, but all in all, I mean, that's not the base you want to be covering. You really need to cover the code and your content, and everything else will fall into place later.
Right. So I don't mean to interrupt you, but Thesis basically takes all of this coding and all of this back end stuff, leaves it in the back end with just enough of a front end for the user to make the changes they need to without screwing up the whole thing.
I mean, that's part of it. I mean, really what Thesis is it's perfectly optimized SEO framework, so it serves your HTML, totally optimized HTML. So, like, in theory, you always work with this HTML code base, and you only change the design on top of that. And so what's different fundamentally from normal WordPress theme approach is that if you change your theme, you change your code. And my theory is that you never change that code. You want your code to be stable, and there's a right way to serve the code. There's an optimized way to serve HTML to a web page. And so you want to maintain that structure. It doesn't make any sense to me at all to be switching your markup when you switch your theme. Like, that's SEO suicide. You're also relying on other people who are not qualified to code, probably, to write your code, which is ridiculous. It's a crapshoot. Like, people do not realize how sensitive these issues are and how much work it takes to get it right.
Until it breaks.
Yeah, you want to rely on somebody who's good to do this. And so that's why you don't just go jumping from theme to theme, free themes because you want to change your look. That's so ridiculous. And so what I've done, I think, that makes it good, that really separates it from everything else, is that I built that stable code base, and really you theme Thesis. Now, you customize it. That's what you apply your designs to, not getting a whole new theme altogether. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Are you going to look at me once during this interview?
I might. I was kind of looking at the camera. I really don't know. I don't do this every day.
I know.
So there you go.
All right, enough with the tech stuff. Let's talk about the future. Where do you see, first of all, microblogging and Twitter and friend feed and all that, is that really a threat to blogging per se?
I think that's all ridiculous. Here it is. It's just like going in the coffee house or whatever. You see people talking, and like they share some little story. You witness this on the side or whatever, and they're sharing, and they have like, oh, this great life epiphany, and they're all galvanized, and they feel like their lives are different or changing or whatever, just because they're connecting with another human. It's very simple. So it's just communication, and that's all this stuff: blogging, Twitter, Facebook, all this crap. All it is an extension of natural communication. And so it's not like, is social media going to help me help my business? No, it's whatever. It's how much can you communicate and create this little coffee house effect all over the place. You know, the more times you can do that, the more times you can connect with people, the better off you're going to be. So, you know, whatever. Use all these platforms to your advantage.
They're tools,
yeah.
and platforms.
Yeah, it shouldn't be looked at as like, oh, how am I going to strategize with this and improve my business? No, you should be you. Use these tools to be you on as big a scale as you can, and that's how you win.
Mm-hmm.
Not by sitting there strategizing about how this is going to help your business.
What's exciting you these days on the web?
Twitter excites me because it allows me to kind of have these little brief interactions with a lot of people, and I enjoy that. They kind of, I feel like oftentimes there's a lot of reward on both sides, like for me and for the person I'm able to talk to. In brief, you know, these brief exchanges, I think that, you know, we're both happy that we were able to speak to each other like that. So that's cool. And it is also kind of allows me to express more of who I am.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Really
Expressing
really
more of him means doing a video ranting and raving in a wife beater with the big guns and the whole thing. That was quite a video. It caused a stir.
Occasionally that's necessary.
Pearson stays behind the scenes a little bit, but he did this video and the internet exploded because he was so sexy and people just couldn't deal with a tech guy who was sexy. I run into that all the time. You are a very attractive man.
Well, thank you.
What else? Anything I need to know?
I can feel the sexual tension between us.
Any big picture? What's the next big thing? What do I need to be looking at? What do I need to be worrying about?
I mean, I think the next big thing is really just, I mean, for me personally, this stuff I'm rolling out with DIY themes and how we're actually going to start theming Thesis, like I hinted at earlier. That's really, you know, the key deal for us, because that's going to allow people to use Thesis and then have all these different looks. And it kind of solves a lot of problems. People say, oh, Thesis is everywhere. I see the same thing everywhere. Well, you know, a lot of people have confessed they like the default layout or whatever, and a lot of people want to do different things, and I want to give them the tools to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Sure.
So that's one thing. I need to do more videos. I want to do more videos. There's so much to say, and you know, I have a problem with writing or whatever. It takes me forever.
It's hard writing.
Yeah,
that's why I do videos. Who wants to write?
Right, exactly. I mean, writing is a major like energy output for me. It's just much easier to throw something on video and just say it.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Your video career.
Right.
Lauren Feldman, 1938 Media, with Chris Pearson from Thesis DIY Themes.
DIY Themes LLC. And our
LLC.
Thesis.
And this guy knows his stuff. I got to get in your affiliate program.
Yeah, you do.
Lauren Feldman, 1938 Media.
Peace.